Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a national act to fund Parkinson's research is spreading hope to patients everywhere. And one program is giving opportunities to folks in recovery to re-enter the workforce.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on the 4th of July. Now let's go ahead and send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge to see what our forecast is looking like for today.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. Feeling sultry outside, a little haze, a little fog off in the distance, and outside our door here at WYMT, it is 73. Visibility has been fluctuating up in Rowan County. Reports here on this graphic, less than a mile. The webcam view looking to the east, which we'll show you coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes, doesn't look that bad. A little lower in terms of visibility, leaving Hazard, Manchester down into Harlan, and the visibilities come up your way as you make your way out toward Monticello and Somerset. We're at 75 right now in the heart of Pulaski County, 76 at Jackson, 68 at Jonesville, and the pinpoint Doppler radar showing a heavier burst of rain coming through northern portions of Pulaski County, north of Somerset. This will continue to track over toward I-75 and 25, and a couple of small little bursts of rain tracking. So we'll keep an eye on this as it continues to move eastbound over the next half hour to 45 minutes. So as we head through time forward today, we'll get some sunshine. That will help to ignite the atmosphere in terms of scattered showers and, yes, some thunderstorms. That thunderstorm activity primarily during the course of the afternoon. You can see on the radar, because of all the moisture in the atmosphere, a heavy downpour or downpours can't be ruled out. We'll see how the wind plays out this afternoon, up to 87. More about an improving picture for the weekend. The 7-day forecast in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. A prominent Laurel County entrepreneur died Tuesday. Garth Rex Greer was well known for his work in the highway business. He helped Elmo Greer and Sons LLC construct highways from Pennsylvania to Arkansas. Greer also gave his expertise to the board of the Kentucky Association of Highway Contractors for nearly a decade, and he served as president and chairman of the First National Bank of Manchester until his passing. Greer's funeral service will be July 6th at 11 a.m. in the chapel of House Rawlings Funeral Home. He was 85 years old. Another well-known business owner out of Letcher County has died. Don Childers started Childers Oil Company decades ago, and the business expanded to more than 40 convenience stores, a restaurant, a tire store, and other business ventures. He was also a member of the Pikeville College Board of Directors and Kentucky Petroleum Board. A memorial service will be held on Monday at 1 p.m. at Whitesburg First Baptist Church. Childers was 92 years old. Here's part of a statement provided by Congressman Hal Rogers. Eastern Kentucky has lost a legendary leader. I am deeply saddened by the passing of my good friend Don Childers out of Letcher County. He invested in the lives of Eastern Kentuckians by creating jobs, casting vision, and planning for new opportunities, and generously giving back to his home region. My wife Cynthia and I send our heartfelt sympathy and prayers to the entire Childers family, and especially Peggy, who lost the love of her life after 71 years. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell released a statement about Childers yesterday saying, quote, "I'm deeply saddened by the loss of my longtime friend, Don Childers. Don and I connected from the very beginning over our shared love of Kentucky, and through the years we teamed up on countless projects to see what we could do for our state's Appalachian communities. Elaine and I send our condolences to the entire Childers family and all those who mourn his loss." KSP released their crime report for the year 2023, highlighting all the year-over-year trends for Kentucky. The report shows nearly a 40% jump in human trafficking crimes from 2022 to 2023. Natalie Sisters in Lexington works to support women who have been trafficked or sexually exploited through outreach at adult clubs and on the streets. Executive Director Janie Lewis says the upward trend is reflected at their drop-in center in Lexington's East End.
Last year, I think we saw 400 women at the drop-in center. This year, we've seen almost 400 women to date in the first 6 months.
Lewis says while human trafficking is often portrayed as a random violent encounter out on the roads or somewhere in the public, that is rarely what the crime actually looks like in Kentucky. The man who police say murdered Scott County Deputy Caleb Conley last year is now facing another charge. Stephen Xiansheng is being held at the Bourbon County Detention Center while he awaits trial. According to an arrest citation, Xiansheng is now facing a charge of promoting contraband after deputies received a tip last month about a hole made in the bathroom of the outside of the jail. The citation says deputies found 3 metal objects during a search of his jail cell. A Lexington man is facing a long list of charges after trying to swim away from police in Whitley County. Corbin police arrested 36-year-old Justin Dodd last Friday. An officer tried to pull Dodd over, but they say Dodd kept driving all the way to the bottom of the 312 boat ramp. That's where police say he jumped in the river and tried to swim away. He was in the water for about 45 minutes before surrendering. When police searched his car, they say they found 2 fake driver's licenses and a forged check. Dodd is now facing 8 charges, including driving on a DUI suspended license and forgery. Yesterday, hundreds of people were without power after an early morning crash in northeastern Kentucky. The crash happened around 2 a.m. on Route 5 in Boyd County near the Greenup County line. The road is also known as Belfonte Princess Road. Dispatchers say a car hit a utility pole, knocking out power. The driver was taken to the hospital. Transportation officials had said they thought Route 5 may be closed much of the day while crews worked to replace the utility pole. Advocates for more Parkinson's disease research are hopeful for the future of funding. On Tuesday, President Biden signed the National Plan to End Parkinson's Act into law. The act will implement and periodically update a national plan to coordinate and guide efforts to prevent, diagnose, treat, and cure the disease. Jane Rice-Williams is the executive director of Parkinson's in Motion. She says they have been successful in helping people across the region.
And that awareness and knowing that, well, people here have been diagnosed since coming to our meetings and finding out what Parkinson's is. And they think, well, maybe that is what my dad has, or maybe that's what my mother has. And they're able to get a diagnosis because of knowledge.
Williams says they hope this act will further the impact of what they have been able to create on a national level. She says she is urging folks to thank lawmakers who voted in favor of the bill. For a link to say thank you, you can find this story on our website. The FDA approved a new drug that could slow the progression of early symptomatic Alzheimer's disease. The drug is given in monthly infusions and has only been shown to work in people with very early onset symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. In a large trial, it slowed the decline of cognitive function overall by about 22% over 18 months. Doctors say the treatment is an incremental advance, but that time matters.
And that may sound like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, that's a big deal if you have a wedding, something in your life, if you want to do something. We're not reversing it. It's not a cure.
You're slowing it down.
Slow the decline.
The drug is set to be available in just weeks. It costs $32,000 a year and is covered by Medicare Part B. While we begin to celebrate the 4th of July, many people have already hit the road or are planning to travel this weekend. The most recent daily fatality report from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety shows vehicle deaths have increased in the past 4 years. Some Kentucky officials are offering advice on how to stay safe on the roads every time you get behind the wheel.
The biggest thing people can do to prepare for traveling during the holidays is just give yourself a lot of extra time to get to where you're going. impatience leads to a lot of crashes and a lot of issues on the roadway.
You can also stay safe by putting your phone down, obeying the speed limit, and paying close attention to the road. A new mandate increasing vehicle inspection cost will soon go into effect. Kentucky House Bill 833 allows vehicle inspections increase from $5 to $15 per vehicle. It will go into effect on July 15th. Trip fee charges will also increase. Originally $10, it will now cost $20 for people who need an inspector to travel to a vehicle's location to complete an inspection. Hope Building, a program within the Housing Development Alliance that gives men and women in substance abuse recovery the opportunity to train for and work on construction projects. It's designed to help those in recovery successfully re-enter the workforce. WYMT's Caroline Mueller tells us one of the program's success stories.
Coming up on 4 years of sobriety and being given the keys to her brand new home. Lindsay King says it's hard to believe she's come this far.
If you would have told me 5 years ago I'd be here today, I would have never believed you. Even with that tiny bit of hope I had, I still would have not believed I would be standing here today.
Through the Perry County Drug Court program, King got involved with Hope Building as a trainee, not knowing anything about construction.
But she told me, give me an opportunity and I'll show you I can do it. And she absolutely proved us correct.
Shannon Gabbard with HDA says King performed so well, they hired her as the program's assistant trainer.
She has gone from knowing nothing about construction of new homes to being one of our experts in helping teach new people how to build new homes.
But there was one home King dreamt of building.
Lindsay had some goals along the way, and one of those was to have a home for her 2 kids where they could each have their own bedroom.
King applied for HDA's low-income program to have a house built for her and her kids. Now a reality. Wednesday, they received their new home with a bedroom for each of them. In Perry County, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
Let's get you ready, get you out the door. Parade preps and celebrations taking off here in a couple of hours. And it's going to be one of those days you start moving, you start sweating, right? 70s right now across the Commonwealth. Dew points only a few values underneath the current temperatures. And the pinpoint Doppler radar a little active already across northern portions of Pulaski County. Basically north of the Howell Rogers. This will continue to track towards 75 and Route 25 as we make our way through this next half hour to 45 minutes. Out the door we go. We'll get some sunshine. We'll get up to 88 for the afternoon high as we keep an eye on the radar regarding the scattered shower and thunder shower pattern this afternoon. Better news as we head for Saturday and Sunday. Details with the First Alert 7-day forecast in just a few moments. Olivia?
Thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now at 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Every year, thousands of people head to the emergency room for firework-related injuries. But we'll highlight some ways to avoid a firework fiasco.